Chair recognizes Councilmember Cullen.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to refer this item back to the administration. I understand that Public Works has determined that they will be able to deliver this project to my district with previously appropriated funds. And so there is no need for this new appropriation. Second.
Further discussion? Moving to a vote, favoring, opposed, motion carries. The item is referred back.
Item 42 is an ordinance.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Councilmember Bradford.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an item allocating some additional city phone services to Sprint. About a year and a half ago, in June of 2011, the city awarded a $20 million contract to Sprint to provide a part of the city cell phone services. And during that particular contract, there was a commitment on Sprint's part to, this is about a year and a half ago, to provide a credit in FY12 in the amount of $1.2 million. There was supposed to be a price reduction of 4G smartphone service by $5 per unit. Additionally, there were commitments to do a $30,000 per month discount in existing public works engineering push-to-talk services upon the contract being awarded. I had requested information to indicate whether Sprint had met these obligations or not as committed a year and a half ago, and have not received a response nor anything indicating that we have in fact secured these commitments from Sprint. So I'm still standing waiting on a response whether Sprint met its obligation and why we were not given a response to the inquiry. That's very atypical not to get a response, you know, when you submitted in writing saying that this is a concern that I have about a particular agenda item, but on this occasion no response was rendered. So I'm standing waiting on a response before I declare a no vote.
Thank you, Councilmember, and I'm glad you indicated that it is atypical. I see my IT director out in the audience. Can you come and address it now? Otherwise, I will take a motion to delay and make sure the council members get their questions answered.
Mayor, council members, Councilman Bradford, I want to apologize. I can't confirm whether you received a written response or not. My understanding is Sprint is meeting the obligations of the contract from a year and a half ago. If it's in the best interest of this body to delay until the next council meeting so you can get written responses to your questions, I am open to that suggestion.
Well, I can certainly confirm without belaboring the point that I did not receive a response, and then simply a phone call to my office would have been, did you get your response that you inquired about? I think that work has been done here, and I think going forward is probably a good idea, but at the same time, I think it's fair to ask a question and get a response as to whether a vendor has met a prior obligation. So, are you saying that they have done these three particular things which I enumerated here, or you don't know about those?
Councilmember, they have met the three things that you listed that are in the previous RCA that was approved by this council in 2011.
Mr. Thompson, thank you very much. I do appreciate that kindly. Thank you, ma'am.
And I apologize, Councilmember, for you not getting an answer. Councilman Sullivan.
One of the concerns I have about Sprint, I hope I'm not getting in an area here where I could get in trouble, but in public there's a lot of discussion, a lot of print media reports about wireless services and competition amongst the different vendors, if you will. Sprint continues to be portrayed as one that's financially someone that should be watched, and as we make these continuing investments for the future going forward, can you tell me if you or anyone in your department watches financial performance of vendors? In other words, do we want to, in this, I don't know how to say it other, do we want to continue to pour money into a project vendor that may have a problem down the road? I'm not saying that Sprint will or won't, but I'm sure read a lot about their downgrades. It's something I think that people need to be aware of.
Councilmember, we are monitoring the service that's being provided to the city under the contract terms. And at this point in time, that service is adequate. It could be better, and we'll continue to monitor.
Okay, Mr. Feldman, is there anybody in the city that might keep an eye on financial wherewithal of the vendor, at this magnitude anyway? Certainly not.
Councilmember, I'm struggling to ascertain whether or not you're going outside the Open Meetings Act with this discussion, so I would prefer not to respond. I believe you talk privately about it.
Okay, thank you. We'll just, can I make a motion that this be deferred for a week or two?
The administration would accept a 1 week delay. Certainly.
Second.
You would, not debate.
Thank you, appreciate it.
There's a motion for a 1 week delay. There's a
Second.
Discussion on the 1 week delay. Councilmember Noriega.
Yes, Mayor, I have a few things I'd like to mention that I think might be helpful going forward with this kind of thing, and if I'm not allowed to speak after we vote on this, I'm asking that we will wait till the end of the discussion for the motion to delay.
If you have things you want answered during the 1 week delay, I think that would be germane to the discussion of whether we should have a 1 week delay. So,
What I was thinking that I would like to see, I've had some historic issues with this contract, and I would like to see anything that has to do with this, that has this many questions and this complexity to come before the committee that would address it, which is the technology committee. So TTI would be one way we could vet this kind of thing, and I would both offer to have a special call meeting or just suggest that in the future we address some of these things through committee.
if we can, if the chair would be willing to call a committee meeting, I think that'd be the perfect way to get all the councilman's questions answered at once.
I would be very willing to do that, and I think it would give us an opportunity to visit with Sprint as well as our director. I'd also like to mention that I did have a list of questions, and the administration and the director of the department were very responsive, and I appreciate their answers. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Adams, to the motion to delay.
Yes, and in the week delay, I would like to request for, I know in our meeting this morning, after 2 weeks of requesting for information, it's nothing to you, and I guess in the 1 week delay, whether we go to committee or whatever, is that you go back and look, because one of your statements to me this morning is like anything that happened prior to you being here, you didn't have any information, previous information. So I would ask you to go back and look at the original contract, and I know you probably have, if you don't mind, and look at the savings that was said back then and compare it to, are we at that savings today? And I would like to see that information in comparison in writing to see, because just like Councilman Noriega, there's been some history here prior to our new colleagues being here concerning that particular contract. And don't have anything negative to say about Sprint, because some things I've asked them to do, they've done it, but just to move forward, to feel comfortable, if you can just go back and find that information, I really would. And again, this don't have anything to do with you, but I think it's sad when I tagged the item 2 weeks ago and asked for the information, and you met with me this morning. And I wasn't going to say anything, but I usually, hold my peace on things, but this is a history with me. And so I just want to know, are they holding up to their obligations from the past and where we are tomorrow? That was just my only question that we had in the agenda briefing, and that's my same question today. But again, it's no reflection of you, I understand, because you was not here. But just want to make sure that we have that information.
So, council members, I would ask that this is quite appropriate. We're asking for what we need in this week's delay.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, ma'am.
The original motion to delay, was it for a week or was it not determined? I would like to know if I could amend that for a possible 2 weeks, because if I'm going to have a committee meeting, I'm going to have to coordinate some schedules, if I might.
Mayor, I have no issue with
Yeah,
it.
If the author of the amendment, the motion to delay would say that.
Yes, ma'am. I just picked a week, just grasping for something here, but I, like you, see that there's a lot that needs to be done. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, since this is an amendment to a contract, I don't know what the real risk is in delaying it and doing it right. I mean, that's
So you're accepting the amendment for 2 weeks?
And I'll accept anything in excess of a week.
Thank you.
That the mayor will agree to.
So let's a motion and a second for a 2 week delay.
Second.
Any other comments about what you need during this delay period? Councilmember Burns?
Thank you, Mayor. This particular item, I can't speak on because I wasn't here. And I would like to know some history about it so that I can vote intelligently on it. Right now, all I have is just what's in front of me. And to go back and do some research, I know there's 7 of us who may be in this same position here right now. So a 2-week delay is good, but get the information to us with the history of it so we can look at that.
Councilmember, what I'll ask them to bring is the commitment that Sprint made against our previous expenses and whether they met
Okay.
the commitment. Now, it is, they're gonna have to, it's a fluid situation. We're changing phones in and out all the time, but I think they can hit a baseline and show you where we are versus the previous contract. I'm not gonna
Well, I
go
see
back
that
to the
in
history of how we got to
Yes.
this vote, but the contract we approved a year and a half ago and where we are today, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Gonzalez?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I just wanted to point out briefly and apologize to the council because I actually chaired the meeting when this item came up. In your absence, Mayor, you were out of the country, so you weren't present for that particular meeting. And I assume that any and all questions that would be followed up on or that we would close those loops before today, and apparently it just hasn't happened for whatever reason. I know we've had a council break week as well in between that time, so hopefully we can follow up and make sure that everybody has the information, and I think it's reasonable to make sure they're all informed on this vote. And again, just want to point out that I was chairing the meeting that day. I just thought the information would be followed up.
Yes, Councilman Sullivan.
My last comment, Mayor, is response to someone who said that they found it, that the director said he couldn't respond to something because he wasn't here. If that's the case, if that's what you said, I find that very disturbing. We all come in at different times, programs, funding, personnel, whatever. Hopefully you didn't say that, but if you did, I hope we don't hear it again. Thank you.
Councilmember, I have to say that Mr. Thompson can respond to anything that is in the written record of the city. He can't respond to anything that may have been said at the council table or a commitment made by a previous director. That was the intent of his remark, not that, you know, we stand by our contracts and we will certainly stand by the written record. Move to a vote to delay this item for 2 weeks. Favoring, opposed, motion carries.